What's good, everybody? It's your boy Will. Today's video I'm going to be showing you guys the new best center badges in NBA 2K23. This is going to be what you should be running if you're a big man on this game. I did make this video earlier in the year, but they've added in double core badges and they've also nerfed the paint a little bit. So I'm going to show you guys what you should be running with now if you want to be playing competitively at the highest level. I'm also going to go over the best dunks to equip on a center, as well as all of my different animations that I use. Now, like I said, a couple seasons ago, they added the capability of using these double core badges. The build that I'm on right now is a 7'3" center. So it's going to depend on really what your build is set up to be and how tall you are. But I'm going to break down every single one of these badges and I'm going to tell you if I recommend you to use them or not. It doesn't matter what build you are. So first off is Acrobat. Acrobat's pretty much useless in this game unless you're a slasher or a small point guard and you're trying to like switch layups in midair, which obviously this is for centers, so Acrobat is not worth equipping. Same thing with Dream Shake. You're never really going to do Dream Shakes, and even if you have this equipped, it doesn't boost anything that high, so it's not worth having on either. Now, Fearless Finisher for centers is a very good badge. This is going to help you finish through contact. It's going to increase your chances of making contact layups, and with the new patches that they've added into the game where you miss more layups in the paint when a defender has his hands up, this is essential to equip. So you definitely want this as high as you can possibly get it. Now, Limitless Takeoff, this is only useful if you have an 80 driving dunk. If you have anything less than that, it's not even worth equipping at all. When you have the 80 driving dunk, if you equip Quick Drops off 1, you're going to get the better animation where you fly from like the free throw line and dunk on people. So that's only if you have 80 dunk and you have that package equipped, otherwise this isn't worth equipping. Post Spin Technician, if you do a lot of post spins, this is actually a pretty effective badge. I would say you could probably get away with just having it on bronze, but using the right stick you can definitely push a defender out of the way and just drive to the paint and dunk, especially if it's a small defender without strength like a point guard or a shooting guard. So if you do post spins, I would highly recommend you to equip this. I just don't have enough badge points, or I would have it on bronze. Now, Pro Touch, this is only useful if you have your layup timing on or if you're doing post hooks. I have my layup timing off, but I do a lot of post hooks while I'm playing. I made a video showing how to do them if you guys want to check that out. They're still very effective. They haven't really nerfed the post hook that much. You can still make contested ones, so I have this on Hall of Fame because it increases the green window and it makes it way easier to hit them. Slithery, I would recommend this for pretty much any build. It's going to make it so when you get a layup, it's going to be harder to make contact with you, and it does activate in a lot of standing layups as well, so that's why I have it equipped. Up next is Aerial Wizard. This is a badge that is not worth equipping at all, unless you're like playing park or something like that and you're catching a lot of lobs. Then maybe you could equip it, but for 5v5 Pro-Am, which is mainly what I play, I'm never catching lobs, and my dunk rating is already so low that there's really no point in boosting it. You can catch it without Aerial Wizard on. Back Down Punisher. Now this is actually a very good badge to have equipped if you're someone that is either post hooking, doing drop steps, just in the post in general, because it's going to increase your strength while you're backing somebody down. So especially for bigger centers, if you're backing somebody down into the paint, you're trying to drop step, this is going to give you a boost and be able to push them under the rim and make it so you can score more easily. So if you do have the extra badge points, this is something that you could equip. I just don't have enough points. Drop Stepper, this is another very good badge. I would honestly rather have this over Back Down Punisher and Post Spin Technician, and that's why I have it equipped on silver. Anytime you drop step somebody in the paint, even if they have more strength than you, more often than not, having this on silver is going to allow you to just push them out of the way and be able to get an open layup. And especially with the way that they've now nerfed the paint, made it way harder to make contested layups. When you're on a one-on-one with a defender, this allows you to just create separation and score. Now moving on to the tier 3, Bully only works for driving layups, and again, this is a center build, so there's really no point having this equipped. I don't want to do driving layups. My guy's 7'3" personally, but even if I was 7 foot or a shorter center, Bully's just really not something that's worth equipping because of how many points it costs. If it was in tier 1, it's something that you could use, but in tier 3, it's kind of crazy to use that many points on it. Next up is Fast Twitch. This is probably the best finishing badge out of any of these. This allows you to go up faster for layups and dunks while you're standing in the paint. Obviously, as a center, that's going to be your bread and butter. It's mainly what you're doing. So you want to be able to go up as fast as possible and make it very difficult for the defender to get a stop on you. So definitely, if you can get this on Hall of Fame, like the build that I have, put that on Hall of Fame or put it on gold, whatever you can get it to the highest, make sure you have this equipped. Now masher, especially with the way that they've nerfed the paint, you miss a lot of open layups, and even if someone just has like a hand up, you're gonna miss more often than not. Now this is really only useful if you're on a 7'3" or a 7'2" center. It's gonna give you a boost on players that are 4 inches or shorter than that when they're guarding you in the paint one-on-one. It also pops up when somebody's swinging out of the corner as a shorter defender. Basically just going to give you a boost when there's a small defender in the paint, so it's going to make it easier to make close shots. The thing about this now though is that, like I said, you do miss a lot more layups, so if you're not 7'3", I would not even bother equipping this at all, and I would just put on Rise Up as high as you can get it. Now since I am 7'3", what I decided to do with the double core badges, which is different than all of the other videos that I posted. Personally, I have Fast Twitch and Masher both cored, and I did that so I could equip Rise Up, because when you're on a 7'3", you're less likely to get standing dunks than being on a shorter player, which really doesn't make sense, but that's just how the game works. So you definitely want Rise Up on now, especially with the new patches. You want it as high as possible because standing layups aren't as good as they were before. Now for shooting badges, obviously this is for mainly an inside center. So the only one that I have equipped is Slippery Off Ball. Now I would recommend you guys to put an extra badge point into this if you can get it, just because it does help you slip to the paint off of screens. You can notice the difference of your player, the animations that you get, and how fast you're able to slip. So I definitely would put this on at least bronze if you can get it. Now moving on to the playmaking badges, you definitely want to put on Clamp Breaker. This is going to give you the capability of just walking right through a defender and pushing him off you, especially if you're on a shorter center, you know, like 7 foot. This is going to help you a lot just driving to the paint, dunking. But even on a 7'3", I noticed that there's a lot of times where I'm able to just walk through the defense. So you want this equipped, it's only 1 badge point. Floor general, if you have extra badge points left over, I would recommend you just go ahead and throw this on. It's going to give your teammates a +1 boost if it's on bronze, +2 on silver, and then so on and so forth. But definitely want this as high as possible just to boost your teammates' attributes. Mismatch Expert, this is pretty much pointless on any build, not gonna lie, unless you're a point guard, because we're not gonna go against a taller defender, especially knowing that my build's 7'3". Special Delivery, now this is useful if you're throwing alley-oops, it boosts it. Personally, I just have extra badge points left over, and I don't want to use Mismatch Expert, so I put it on Special Delivery. In case I throw a lob, it's gonna give me a better chance of doing so. And sometimes I throw flashies when I'm trolling or front running, so it always boosts them too. Into the tier 2, we have Bailout. Again, this is something that you really don't need necessarily, but since I do have the extra points for it, Bailout is useful, especially when there's a double team in the paint. It's going to help you throw out of it, and it's going to give you less of those trash animations where your guy throws the ball out of bounds, or the offensive player you throw it to like tips the ball and the defense picks it up. So Bailout is pretty useful. Break Starter is probably the most important badge out of all of these. This is going to help you throw the break when you get a defensive rebound. So if you can get this on Hall of Fame, put it on that. If not, put it as high as possible. If you don't have this equipped, your breaks are going to be absolutely trash. A lot of times mine are still trash with gold on, so you definitely want this as high as you can get it. And then Vice Grip, now this is going to help you off of rebounds. It's going to be harder to rip the ball out of your hands, and it's also going to help your guy catch the ball when people throw the slip to you, or just passes in general. So you definitely want this equipped as well. It's going to be harder to get the ball out of your hands. And then moving on to the tier 3. Now, I think the best badge out of all of these is Needle Threader. It's going to make it way harder to steal passes that you throw. And if you throw bounce passes, it pretty much makes it so you can't even steal them if you have it on silver or gold. So if you're somebody that has like an 86 pass build, definitely put on Needle Threader over Post Playmaker or Dimer. If you can get all of them, that's cool too, but I would mainly focus on Needle Threader just because it makes it a lot harder to steal passes. And you really don't need the boost from either Post Playmaker or Dimer because it's not that hard to shoot. And Unpluckable to me is kind of pointless just because you're going to get ripped regardless of what you had this on. I could have it on Hall of Fame and a lockdown's going to steal a ball from me. So mainly you just want Needle Threader. Now moving on to defense. Now this is the other section that I would use my double core badges on if I wasn't on the 7'3" and I didn't care about having masher to try to boost my mashing in the paint. I would use my double core on something like Pogo Stick and Rebound Chaser just so I could get those extra badge points, the extra 8 points. And then I would put those points into Hall of Fame Chase Down, and you could even put on Off Ball Pest or post lockdown, whatever you want to do, but you definitely would want to put on Hall of Fame chase down just so it helps you get chase down blocks, whether it's that's in the corner or if you're in the pick and roll. But again, since I am on the 7-3, I decided to put it on finishing. Otherwise, you definitely want to go with defense. So the first badge I have equipped is Challenger. This is just going to help you get contests whenever somebody takes a shot. So if you're guarding the corner and you kind of show it to the paint, it's going to give you better jumps out the back to the corner to contest whoever's shooting. Definitely want this equipped on any build if you can get it. Glove. Now this is for centers, so my steal as is pretty low. I have like a 60 steal, so I really don't need glove. I'm never going to get a pluck on ball. The only way I'm going to get a steal is if I blitz somebody, and glove is not going to affect that. So that's why I don't have it equipped. But again, if you use the double core and you have a lot of points left over, you could put on glove. Now interceptor, this is a necessity. If you don't have this equipped, you're really not going to get steals at all, especially not with the low steal rating that I have. You definitely need this equipped. It's just going to increase your success of getting a steal when you hit square. Off-ball pass. Now this is somewhat useful at times, especially when someone's trying to backdoor you out the corner. It's going to help you just put your hands out and slow them down a little bit. And it also helps you when you're guarding pick and roll to bump the center that's slipping to the paint when you're on defense. So this is another option if you were to use the double core badges. If you put it on like Pogo or Anchor to get those extra points, you could put on off-ball pest on like bronze or silver. It's not really needed, but it does help a little bit. Pick dodger, personally, I don't really think this is needed on a center, but if you had all the extra badge points, you could put it on bronze. This is really only going to help if somebody's like screening you in the paint, or if someone is accidentally screening you while you're guarding pick and roll, like the other center accidentally bumps you. It'll help you get through the screens a little bit better, but it's really not needed to equip. Workhorse, this is a very good badge. I would highly recommend you to put this on any build. Basically, whenever there's a loose ball, it's going to give you a huge speed boost right to it so your guy can pick it up. And especially with me being on a 7'3" right now, my guy's a lot slower. So any boost that I can get to my speed, especially on a loose ball where there's just no way I'm going to get to it, but because I have this badge equipped, I'm going to be able to just sprint right to it. Definitely want this equipped. You definitely want this on. It also helps you when there's a tipped rebound. Your guy's going to be able to pick it up a lot easier. There's a lot of different animations where you'll tip the ball up in the air and your guy will just immediately catch it if you have this on like Gold or Hall of Fame. So you definitely want this equipped. Into the tier 2 box out beast. Now I'd highly recommend you to have this on Hall of Fame as well. This is basically going to make it so it's harder to worm you. My guy doesn't have a very high strength, so I definitely want this as high as I can get it. If you're on a build that has like 90 plus strength, you might be able to get away with having it on Gold, but I would probably just go with Hall of Fame no matter what. And it's also going to make it easier for you to worm people when you're on offense and they're trying to box you out. So very important badge for centers. Now Chase Down Artist, another really good badge. I was playing without Chase Down Artist for a while just because I didn't have enough badge points, but once I was able to equip it, I definitely noticed a difference in a lot of the animations that you get, even out of the corner when I'm not even guarding pick and roll. The way that my guy just flies into the paint and is able to get to the rim and get a contest and make people miss dunks, you definitely want this on at least bronze just to get those extra animations. Now again, if you were to use the double core and you had a lot of extra points, I would personally just put this on Hall of Fame because you're going to notice a big difference, but having it on bronze does give you those animations, so at least bronze. Post lockdown, I really don't think that this badge is needed. Now if you're playing park or you're playing against guys that are mainly post scorers a lot, then you could put it on bronze or silver, but the way that this game is right now with mashing and the way that they changed it so you pretty much miss, you know, majority of your layups, post lockdown is really not something that you need very much. It's a tier 3. Anchor is one of the best badges in this game on defense. You're gonna want this as high as possible. If you do have a 99 block, go ahead and put it on Hall of Fame. I only have a 93, so I have it on Gold, but this is basically gonna make it so if you have your hands up in the paint, anybody that's going up, as long as you meet them there to the spot, they're probably gonna miss it more often than not. It's also gonna help you get better block animations when people are trying to get dunks, so definitely put this as high as you can get it. Brick wall, another great badge. If you're setting screens, you need this as high as you can get it. My guy only has it on silver, which to me is personally good enough, but obviously Gold and Hall of Fame is a noticeable difference. It's definitely better, so whatever you can get it on, the highest point, go ahead and put that on. Now Pogo stick, I mainly only have this because I'm on a bigger center, and when I get a contest in the paint, I'm not able to just jump right back up for the rebound. So the offensive player, more often than not, is going to get his own board. That's mainly why I put it on. It also helps you if you jump out of position, you can get a second jump a lot quicker. But the main focus for me was when I get a contest on a center, I can't jump right up for the rebound right away, but having this on Hall of Fame allows me to do that. Even being on a 7'3" just increases my mobility a lot and makes it a lot easier to play defense. It also makes it so if I jump at somebody in the corner trying to take a shot and they pump fake, my guy's going to recover a lot quicker and be able to get back to them and defend them. So personally, on a taller center like a 7'2" or a 7'3", you definitely want to put pogo as high as you can. I have it on Hall of Fame. If you're on a shorter center like a 6'11" or a 7 foot, you're going to notice that you're able to just jump a lot quicker than the bigger centers, so you might not even need this at all. But personally, I think I would always run it just because you can notice a difference when it comes to rebounding and defense. And then rebound chaser is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, it's going to help us get boards, going to help us get better animations, higher jumps, and the crazy like one-hand rebounds where you snatch it out of the air. So you want this as high as possible. I would not put this on gold. I would stick with Hall of Fame if you can get it. So now that we're done with all of the badges, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys all of my animations that I run. Now, a lot of these are pretty much useless, but for the free throw, I'm using Stephen Curry. I used to use Michael Jordan, but I feel like it was a little bit inconsistent. I don't know if they changed it or they patched it or whatever it was, but I kept missing free throws for some reason. So I switched over to Steph Curry, and I've noticed that it's a lot more consistent for me, so I would recommend you to try that out. Now, I'm going to get into the dunks after I go through all of these animations, but pretty much none of these matter besides the post hook, which is Joel Embiid's, which is definitely the best one. I've tested them all out, but these other ones don't matter. I'm not post fading, I'm not doing any type of jump shots. And then these dribble moves, I'm going to make a new video showing how to dribble and combo up on a center, which sounds kind of crazy, but I actually move pretty well, so I'm going to make that video. But these are my dribble animations. For triple threat style, you definitely want to use Michael Jordan's. It's going to allow you to do the one-handed ball fake. And then all these other ones, you can copy these down. Moving on to the dunks, you don't want any 2-foot moving dunks equipped because they're a lot slower. It's going to make you a lot easier to block when you're going up, so don't equip any of these. Moving on to the 1-foot moving dunks. Now, if you're somebody that does have the 80 driving dunk and is able to equip the silver limitless takeoff, the only dunk that you're ever going to need is quick drops off one. Don't even worry about any of these other dunk packages. Just go ahead and put on quick drops off one. It's clearly the best one. But if you're someone that doesn't have the 80 driving dunk, if you're on a bigger build like I am right now, the ones you're going to want to equip are rim grazers off one, basic one-handers off one, and that is pretty much it. All of these other ones are not as good as these two. These kind of are almost unblockable as well. If you get the good animations in these, it's really hard to block your player. It's not as good as quick drops off one, but both of these are very, very quick. Now for the standing dunks, I use one-hand under basket regular, I use elite basket rim pulls, and I use two-handed under basket athletic. I also have the contact dunks equipped. Obviously, if you can get these, you want to put them on. But the reason why I don't have these other ones equipped is because a lot of them have animations where either they cock the ball back behind their head, which you don't want because it's going to be easier to block you, or they have very slow animations where you're going to be wide open under the paint, you try to go up and you just get blocked because of the animation being slow. So I try to put on all of the quickest ones. And then for signatures, I have Shaq equipped as well. So that is going to be it for today's video. I really appreciate you guys watching, man. I hope this helped you out. Like I said, I already put this video out earlier in the year, but they did make a bunch of changes as well as the new double core badges. So I want to keep you guys updated with everything that's going on in this game. Again, appreciate you so much for watching. You guys have a great day. It's been your boy Will. Peace.